Okay, well, hello internet, hello YouTube, hello myself in the future and random people, and as always, hello to my personal FBI agent, which is a joke, by the way. I don't believe I'm actually popular enough yet to be followed by the FBI. Maybe someday. But anyway, welcome again to another pacing and yapping video here on Crazy Ed's Bomb Shelter. Oh, and by the way, the whole Crazy Ed's Bomb Shelter thing, I'm going to get into that more in a future video, but for the time being, let it suffice to say, I do not believe that my apartment actually would be effective at stopping bombs. It's a metaphorical thing because I'm concerned that armed conflict in the world may be about to increase. See, now I'm going into it, and I said I wasn't going to go into it. What I do want to talk about is my pieces of paper on the wall. Hang on, there's got to be a way to flip the camera around while I'm recording, right? There's got to be a way to do that, right? Maybe not, I don't know. Well, anyway, here are my pieces of paper. I'm like shooting, looking and not being able to see. But anyway, I like working with pieces of paper because I suspect maybe neurodiversity reasons, and I want to talk about my pieces of paper hung up on my wall today because neurodiversity is one of the things that I want my YouTube channel to be about. I mean, it's basically just my personal YouTube channel to just autism dump about my interests and whatever's on my mind that day. And, maybe I'll drop some links on Reddit or someplace, and maybe somebody will see something useful in something I had to say. So that's all the YouTube channel really is. And a big part of what I want to document and what I want to share with the world is my personal experience of being a particular individual on the autism spectrum, and all the, which that was an Idiocracy reference, by the way. Being a particular individual on the autism spectrum, sir. God help us. So anyway, pieces of paper, yes, pieces of paper. I want to talk about pieces of paper. I have, oh, hang on. There's some light in my hallway. So I have this. This is my very first attempt at making an outline for EmoGF 2075, which is a fanfic project that I'm working on. Technically, the whole thing is Sharknado fanfic because it all takes place in the Sharknado universe. And Sharknadoes are when the humans aren't discovering that the other humans are the real enemy. They're busy figuring out how to cope with living in a world full of Sharknadoes, which, if you didn't know, is a tornado full of sharks. Yeah, it's like a tornado forms over the ocean, picks up a whole shitload of sharks, and then everybody's like, oh, it's a tornado full of sharks, everybody run! Yeah, so anyway, EmoGF 2075 is that. And, of course, it comes to me in pieces, it doesn't just come to me as a linear story with a beginning where it starts at the beginning and then it goes to the middle, then it goes to the end. It comes to me in random fragments. And so what this is This is my attempt to capture the little random fragments of thought and put them in some kind of an order. Oh yeah, it's supposed to be this way, by the way. It's supposed to go horizontal, and I used to have it, you see, oh wait, hang on, let me see what the hell I'm shooting at. Yeah, that table, this table, I used to have that piece of wood on that table, and I would like thumbtack the pieces of paper to it in approximately the order that I thought that the viewer would end up seeing those events. And I'm planning for it to be 12 episodes, and I mean, I went to school for writing, so for me, writing 12 episodes of a sitcom, that's like, I mean, that literally was a homework assignment I had one time. Like, I can do that. And this time, it's not homework, it's fun, it's recreation, it's therapy. It's, okay, let me not call it therapy, but it's one of the things that I'm doing in addition to therapy. There we go. Let me not say instead of therapy. I think I joked, there's like some post or something I made where I joked about my fanfic is what I'm doing instead of therapy. Not instead of, but in addition to. And out of all the other, self-medicating therapeutic measures that I've ever tried, in addition to therapy, this is my favorite. It gives me a sense of purpose, even though that's kind of funny because it's just a silly fanfic project and it serves no purpose except giving me an artificial sense of purpose. But hey, you know what? It's a sense of purpose in life. I'll take an artificial one if an artificial one is what I can get today. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. That's what's giving me a sense of purpose today. Just being a silly writer who writes things that nobody's ever gonna see. I mean, maybe like half a dozen people, maybe. But aside from those half a dozen or so people, give or take, plus or minus, aside from those half a dozen or so people, out of all the people in the world, nobody's ever gonna see it. And I'm fine with that. I'm just having fun with it. And going back to the neurodiversity thing, I want to talk more in detail about, like, what is it about pieces of paper taped to a piece of, the hell do you call these things, thumbtacked to a piece of wood? Why? Why wouldn't I just do it on the computer? Or why wouldn't I just do it in the Notes app on my phone? Or why wouldn't I just sit down at a typewriter? You know, people might say, okay, Edward, you silly guy, if you don't like using phones and computers, we'll just use a typewriter and just type it out line by line, one letter at a time on a typewriter. No, that doesn't actually work for me. This works for me. This works for me. Pieces of paper on the wall. So why? Why pieces of paper? Well, for one thing, I can see all of them at the same time. I can stand here and just by like taking a couple of steps backward or forward, I can see where everything is. Like, okay, here's an example. Let's see. Okay, here's a pivotal moment in the plot right here. Main character has oh, by the way, yeah, I abbreviate him as MC because he's the main character, but also because MC is a generic term for a generic self-insert hero in anime and stuff like that. So he is the MC, and also I made his name MC. It's actually Matthew Christopher. First name Matthew, middle name Christopher. Yeah, you get the idea. Sorry, that was a sidetrack. So that's who the fuck MC is. So here he has a workplace accident where items slide off of an overloaded shelf. He's knocked unconscious and he has a vision. So for instance, I can take this, I write this down on one piece of paper, and I say, I know this is a thing that I want to happen. And over here we have a scary moment. Let's see. Yeah, this is when the rebel army initiates the Battle of Frinsley by attacking some checkpoints. So at one time in the history of me writing this project, I had this piece of paper that says the rebels attack, and I had this piece of paper that said the main character has an accident at work. But I hadn't decided yet which one comes before or after. So if you asked me to list those events, say on a typewriter, if you asked me to make a bullet list of those events, well, I'm presented with only two options. Option one is I just put them in some order that might end up being the right order, but I don't know that yet. Or I just put them in the wrong order. I put them in an order that might be the wrong order, or it might be the right one. I don't know yet. The point is, I'm a writer. You can't ask me to just put things in an order if I don't know what order they go in yet. So, you know what I did? I just taped. I'm sorry if y'all hear me say taped when I probably meant thumbtacks. You can just substitute the word thumbtacks, but I am going to try to not do that for the sake of clarity. I sidetracked myself. So getting back to, those two pieces of paper, the rebel attack and MC has an accident. Back when I didn't know in which order those occurred, I just put them like this on the wall, just kind of in this general area. And then as I began to have a better idea in my mind, then I tried putting various events in various different orders when I got to a point where I was ready to experiment with trying to place my events in order. And I ended up changing it a little bit, which is another reason that I'm glad I'm using pieces of paper written in pencil, thumbtacked to a piece of wood, and not, for instance, carving in stone or something like that. Because I can just pick up that piece of paper and put it in a different order. It's very easy for me to lay things out and look at how they go and see if I'm happy with that. Another difference between this and the computer that I just thought of is when you use Control X on a computer, the thing disappears from your vision. It didn't disappear, it's just on your clipboard. But where the hell is that? The clipboard is just this abstract concept. Oh my God, it's almost as abstract as the cloud. Don't even get me started on the frickin' cloud. So when you use Control X, the cut shortcut, it removes the thing from your view and puts it someplace where you can't see it, and then you're expected to put your cursor at like one point in the body of your text where you want that whole thing to go. I like pieces of paper because instead of doing all that shit, I can just take the piece of paper from one spot and thumbtack it in another spot. So I guess that's what I really wanted to talk about today, is just I'm just full of excitement because I've discovered sort of a new adaptive way of approaching problems, and it looks weird and nobody's gonna understand it. Well, like maybe half a dozen people on all of Earth will understand it, but that's okay with me. I'm happy about discovering this because I discovered a thing that works. And in fact, I'm so happy about it that I wanted to take a minute and tell the internet about it. So if you enjoyed this, I'm glad. If you found something helpful in what I have to say, I'm glad. And of course, if you would like to support my silly YouTube channel, Crazy Ed's Bomb Shelter, don't forget to hit the like, subscribe buttons, like it, share it, repost it, all of that good stuff. Thank you all for listening, and have a nice day.